There's this big op shop market in Port Adelaide. The one photo I saw of it was this, which is horrifying, the amount of people in this small area. I'm gonna put my life on the line and go there for you. But I'm there for the express purpose of finding something to thrift flip, whether that be clothes, a blanket, some fabric, even like a cool chair. I got 40 bucks, so let's see what I can find. I'm going now. Come on. That was my gold coin donation. I can't lose that. So I'm here at the place. It seems pretty busy. It opens at 10 and it's like 10:15 right now. And the car park is like 3/4 full and it's a huge car park. Let's see what's going on. Apparently there's a big line, so that's good. Okay, so debrief for the whole experience. It was a lot smaller than what I thought. I didn't really capture much footage of the stuff I actually got because I got excited and just saw it and bought it, and then I did a bunch of B-roll afterwards. But safe to say, I got some good stuff. I found some bias binding. I saw a whole bag of it for like $5. I'm like, give it to me. Found a bag of buttons, which isn't $10, as it says on this thing. The thing that would probably be the crux of this video is this bed sheet thing. The lady said, I don't know how much, I'll give it to you for $1. It's got cool ducks on there. Last thing, most excited about, I saw someone picked up an old film camera and I was like, shit, that must be like the only camera in this whole place. But right next to it was this Kodak bag. So I saw this gray strap hanging out. Open it up and it's a digital camera. Kodak Easy Share C300. I said it's pretty successful. Don't know what I'm gonna make out of the stuff I have, but I'll try and figure it out. Now I'm back, but in the car on the way back, I did have an idea of what I want to make. Who needs this shitty old Kodak bag everyone's grandma has? And why can't I make something cooler than that? Long story short, I'm making a camera bag for the camera I found. You're probably wondering if the camera actually works, and it does. Obviously, we're using this bit of fabric I found. I'm also gonna use this bias tape. It's more pinky in person. Out of that bag of buttons I found this small pearlescent kind of one. I wanna keep the design fairly simple, just a pocket for the camera. So maybe this bag will lower the barrier to entry for me so I can carry this camera around all the time and just be taking photos. Cut to me later. Here are a couple of examples of what I want it to look like. Just found these off Pinterest. I really want to keep the bias tape as like an element to the whole thing, make it obvious, not hiding it inside the design. Basically, I want to make it so there's a little lip on it that goes over the top. And it's secured with the button. And how I look at it, there's 3 main steps to this project. Step 1 is the quilt. So basically I'll take 1 layer of the dock fabric, 2 layers of this batting fabric, which I found at the thrift store like months ago, and then another layer of the dock fabric. Pin it together, sew it in diagonals, and make a little quilt out of it. And then the second step is actually cutting it out into the pattern pieces. We'll then bias tape those pieces together. Then that leads us to the final step of construction. So yeah, seems pretty simple. So let's cut out some fabric. First, we're gonna hack off a bit of this fabric for this to go weep, weep, weep. We'll just cut along this and cut along here, just so we have a heap of extra. So we're just going real rough here. I'll get double the material out of it because I think it's folded over. That'll be plenty. Let's cut along this seam. So this batting's pretty thin. So depending on how much I have, I might go 2 layers. Probably only got enough for 1. Might be able to get 2 out of it. Ooh, we're cutting it fine now. Cool. Now we're gonna pin these layers together and then draw in some chalk lines to make the quilting easier. I've done this one time before. I tried to make a computer case for my wife and it didn't turn out well. So I didn't actually explain this really well when I was in the moment. I'm pinning these fabric layers together and then drawing chalk lines on it to actually have a guide to follow when I'm sewing them together. But also, while I have you, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and click that notification icon. You're an icon. Yes, yes, I got a new sewing machine. My beautiful wife gifted it to me for my birthday. Singer Heavy Duty. I feel like all the sewing TikTok girlies recommend this one. I've only ever used secondhand sewing machines. One from the thrift store, one from my mother. So this is really good. You can also pick the needle position, the width and the length of the stitches, which I couldn't do on the other machines. Anyway, back to quilting. Don't look at all the stuff on the couch. That doesn't exist. That's not real. Focus on the table. We did the quilting. Step 1 complete. So basically, I just want it to be one big rectangle, which kind of wraps around, and then we can bias tape the sides. Boom! Did that scare you? Or did I just pull out the mic for no reason? Anyway, here I'm cutting to make sure there's straight lines. And then using the camera just to measure how big the piece should be. So it's me like kind of test fitting it right there. Now I'm using this cup to corner those edges, just to make it a soft corner. My advice for sewing neat bias binding is just making sure that you have a shit ton of clips just to make sure it doesn't slip, and then just go slow and you'll get there. So I locked in and did all the bias tape. One side's way better. I'll show you the way better side. I like the color of it. It matches kind of the pinky of the pattern. I just realized that whole section was on manual mode, so I wasn't in focus, but that's okay. Now we are just sewing up the sides along this bias tape thing, and then I'll stitch on the button and then do the buttonhole. And also what I learned doing this bias taping is that now I can move the needle position so it can be like left or right of the plate. And if I put it all the way to the right, presser foot has more stuff to hold, so we can get closer to this end, which is probably a common thing, but I just figured that out by myself. I'm just gonna go slow. So I'll sew on that button and then I'll show you the final product. Isn't that crazy? I felt like this video has been so quick, but whatever. Okay, so all up, I like my little thing that I've made. It fits the camera in there quite snug. I can put a couple extra batteries in there. I'm pretty happy with the result. That can just kind of live in my work bag, and I can just have a quick retro camera to use wherever I'm going. And I think this is like, out of all the designs I've done of different bags, this color combo I think is the nicest. If I were to change something, I'd narrow down the sides a little bit better. But as it is, does the job. But other than that, well, see y'all.